Hi everyone, it's Matt Payne here with Matthew Payne Consulting, where we help sales professionals and entrepreneurs like yourself how to very tactically and strategically increase your productivity and performance so that you can see measurable new results fast. And in this video, I'm excited to share with you the leadership framework, the 3 fundamental variables that all high-performing exemplary leaders, entrepreneurs, and sales professionals, what these people get control of throughout their day that really enables them to produce and achieve extraordinary results in the moment right now. In other words, what specifically are the strategies that these super achievers know and demonstrate in their daily pattern of how they live, how they execute? Well, they're not only able to get more done in a shorter period of time, but they have this energy, this vibrancy and passion that they transfer and exude to everyone around them, and it drives their life forward to not only succeed, but experience more joy throughout their day. How do these people create and sustain this momentum and progress in their business? And then they actually take that momentum and they transfer that to their personal life. That's what this video will be on, so thanks for tuning in. But before we dive into this framework and how you can use it to achieve more yourself, I want to ask you a question. Whatever field or line of work you're in right now, whether you're in sales or whether you're an entrepreneur running a small to medium to large size business, or you're a parent running a family, one of the most important jobs on the planet, is there something in your life right now that you would like to change, achieve, improve, or make better? And just imagine right now, as you think about that result, what it would mean to the quality of your life and how you would feel if that result was in your life right now, if you were able to make it happen. Now here's my question for you. Do you believe that you're capable of achieving it? Really believe? You may not know how exactly to go about doing it strategically. That's what this video will show you how to do. But do you believe that you've been given the God-given potential inside to pull it off, yes or no? Absolutely. Absolutely. And by the way, if you doubt yourself, that's okay. I've been there. But whenever doubt creeps in, I think we have to ask ourselves this question. In spite of what happened in the past, or in spite of the challenges that we might be experiencing right now, are there people out there, hundreds, thousands of people who've been able to achieve whatever it is we want? Absolutely. And many of these people, would you agree that many of them didn't have the skills, talents, and resources that you and I have? Now here's my question. If they can do it, can we do it too? Of course, if we implement the right strategy. And you know what's exciting? Not only can we do it, but if we implement the right strategy in a more holistic fashion, which is what this is going to show you how to do, you can accelerate the process of success. In other words, what took somebody 2 years to do, you can do in actually 4 to 6 months. What took somebody 3 months to do, you can do in 3 weeks. Because think about this for a moment, and I'll prove my point. Are there people in your industry, your field right now, that are producing, selling, and even earning 10 times more than somebody else in your field? Of course, we see this all the time. Now, these people that are producing a result that's 10 times greater, think about this. Are they 10 times more intelligent? Do they have 10 times the skill or capability? Absolutely not. But they are producing a result that's 10 times greater. That is 1,000% increase. How does this happen? How can a person that isn't working 10 times harder, they're not 10 times more intelligent, or have skill or the capability of 10 times, produce a result that's 10 times greater? And how can you and I increase our personal effectiveness and productivity by 10 times? And that's exactly what this framework is going to show us how to do. And see, I have to tell you, answering these kinds of questions and then teaching the strategies to other professionals, that's really driven my career now. For the past 15 years as a professional speaker, seminar leader, corporate trainer, business consultant, and coach. I know that's a mouthful, but just all these things that I get to do and love to do. One of my real passions is showing people how they can tap more of their potential inside consistently throughout their day, psychologically, organizationally, and strategically, so that they can really do more, be more, experience more, and have the life that they want and deserve. But for me to figure all of this stuff out, this did not happen overnight. A little bit about my story, if you don't know it, it was really a story of struggle, time, and frustration for me to kind of come to the frameworks and distinctions that I now teach other people. I had worked as a top corporate trainer for 10 years for some of the biggest names in personal and professional development. And I really felt like I was a good student when it came to success and achievement, in the sense that I was addicted to learning about this stuff. So I had all this wealth and information, and I was teaching it to my clients, and they were seeing incredible results in their professional and personal lives, but there were areas of my life that just weren't working at the level that I know they could be and should be. I was playing small, and it kind of reminded me of a phrase in the Bible that says, "Physician, first heal thyself." Because as if I had all these powerful tools to help other people succeed and achieve, and I was doing that, but I wasn't doing it on myself in certain areas. And it frustrated me. But I gotta tell you, the gift that came out of it was it created a drive, a hunger inside me to really want to understand how do you create lasting success and fulfillment, because anybody can change for the moment. Anybody can have a good month financially. Anybody can, lose a little bit of weight, go on a diet, but then a lot of people gain it back. What I was interested in is lasting success and achievement. And that's when I had a breakthrough. Because as I recommitted to learning about all of this, learning on science, neuroscience, psychology, neurolinguistics, selling, persuasion, influence, leadership, negotiation, time management, anything that I could get my hands on, I started to see from all these branches of knowledge what they all had in common, and how you and I could bring them all together in a more holistic fashion to not only achieve, but accelerate the process of achievement. See, I think the biggest problem that we face today is so many people come up to me and they say, Matt, I read this book, I took this course, I got great ideas, but I didn't implement them at the level that they could be applied, so I didn't get the result that I could have. Or somebody will say, Matt, I increased my sales, I increased my revenue, I implemented some tools and strategies, but then I went back to my old habits again. Why does this happen? And today in the 21st century, see, I believe we don't have a shortage of information on success and achievement. There's all sorts of tools and distinctions on there on how to succeed and achieve, but a lot of them tend to be one-sided or one-dimensional. See, the problem that you and I face is today there's all these different models that advocate different approaches on success and achievement. So you'll have what I call the motivational model. And that basically says, look, if you want to succeed and achieve, what you have to do is get motivated. Ramp up your enthusiasm, get emotionally charged, right? Because that emotion's going to drive you to greater levels of success. But then you have another model that argues with that model, and this is, no. The key to your life, you can be motivated all day long, but you can be a motivated fool. The key to your life is organization and discipline. Life is happening too fast. You have to separate the relevant from the irrelevant. You have to be strategically planned and prioritized, efficiently effective. But then you have another model that argues with that approach, that model, that says, no. You can be organized and planned all day long, but you can live in a place called paralysis by analysis. The key to your life is execution. You have to be skilled and proficient at selling. You have to be able to market to your clients and build high trust relationships, create and keep customers. And these are just a few of the models. There's all these different models out there today. There's marketing models, management models. And I think what happens to you and I is we feel somewhat stunned and overwhelmed, asking ourselves the question, what do I do? What's going to get me from point A to point B in the shortest period of time? What approach do I take? And here's what I found. It's not just one approach. Because our life isn't about just one thing. It's a series of things. To be specific, it's a series of variables that when you and I get control of these variables, we can accelerate the process of success and achievement, and it assures that our success will actually last. So, what is this framework and how is it going to work for you and I? So the first thing that we're going to cover today and what this framework is going to teach us is it's going to clearly reveal to us why somebody succeeds and why somebody fails. And I think that's critical to you and I because think about it, in this fast-paced, busy, hectic society that we live in today, with constant change and technology and interruptions and distractions, if we're in the dark, if we don't understand what is always intimately affecting our productivity, does it make sense to you? It's kind of like we're flying blind. It would be very much like you and I are playing a game together and we're trying to win the game, but we don't know what it takes to score. Are you with me on that? But here's what's exciting. Once you and I do understand what's impacting productivity moment by moment, we can put our focus there. And where your focus goes, energy flows and results show. I mean, isn't that really true? If something's important to you, if it's a priority and you put your attention on it and you focus on it, you're gonna move towards it. You're gonna feel it and you're gonna move towards it. Now, the other thing that I've learned is this, not always, but most of the time, if we're not performing at the level that we want, or we're not producing the results that we want, or we're not producing as fast as we want, most of the time it's because there are deficiencies within one or all of these variables. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to give you some practical strategies that you can immediately implement within each variable to accelerate your process of success and achievement so that you can really have the business and the quality of life that you deserve and desire. So let's dive into this framework. I think you're really going to like this. The first variable in the leadership framework that is always impacting your productivity is this. It's your psychology. It's your psychology. See, think about it, my friend. What is it about extraordinary, exemplary individuals, leaders, these people that we revere? What is it that makes them so extraordinary? I think of great leaders, historical leaders like Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, or compassionate leaders, leaders of the heart like a Mother Teresa, a Gandhi, or the late great Nelson Mandela. or brilliant business minds and leaders, visionary leaders like a Richard Branson, the late great Steve Jobs, or, even a Walt Disney or Bill Gates. What gives these people that edge in life? What gives these people the ability to persist and persevere in spite of insurmountable odds and obstacles? It's their psychology. These people are extraordinary thinkers. They have what I call an extraordinary philosophy of life. They have a philosophy of life that really they can evaluate and interpret experiences in a way. Anything that life throws at them. Opportunities, challenge, obstacles, experiences, problems in a way that really causes them to feel good, follow through, and consistently behave in a way that moves them closer to whatever it is they want. They have learned to master and control their mind rather than have their mind control and master them. They expect to succeed more often than they fail. In fact, this whole idea of failure means nothing to them. They look at failure as an indispensable process to succeeding. Somebody once said, if you want to succeed in life, just double your rate of failure. But see, when they quote fail, they evaluate it in a very different way. They look at it as a process where they learn something and they just intelligently pick themselves up again and they pursue and persist in spite of adversity, because in their mind, in their psychology, their philosophy of life, that vision becomes so compelling and so real and so believable to them, they act on it. See, let me explain my point here. One of the people that I revere, not only because he was just such a brilliant mind, but he was an amazing humanitarian, is Albert Einstein. And obviously Albert Einstein said a lot of things, but one of the quotes that he's famous for that really struck a chord with me is he said this. He said, the most fundamentally profound question that you and I have to answer as people is this: do I live in a friendly or a hostile universe? Do I live in a friendly or a hostile universe? In other words, right now, is the universe conspiring to make you successful or make you a failure? Is life working for you or is it working against you? Are you a lucky person? Do you always find a way to pull it off? Do you always find a way to have things turn up in your favor? Do you always find a way to come out smelling like a rose? Or are the odds always against you and do you always tend to fail? Because I'm here to tell you right now that your answers to those questions in your gut, it's taking your life in a very unique direction. See, think about it. Do we all have our own unique way of looking at life? Richard Branson, does he have a very unique way of looking at life? Oprah Winfrey, does she have a very unique way of looking at life? Gandhi, did he have a very unique way of looking at life? See, I have a question for you. Can two people experience an opportunity, be presented with an opportunity, but what they do with that opportunity, is it radically different for these two people? Yes or no? Absolutely. One person presents with an opportunity and they say to themselves, think of what I could do. I mean, I could build a business, I could make a fortune, I could help my family, I could make a difference, I could live a lavish lifestyle. This is going to be an exciting journey of growth and personal development. I can't wait to get started. Somebody else says, yeah, but what if I fail? What if it doesn't work out? I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I don't have the time, I don't have the resources. Now here's my question for you. Does that one evaluation based on their life philosophy take these two people's lives in a different direction that ultimately leads to a different destination? Yes or no? You better believe it. See, where are your evaluations taking you, my friend? When you think about what you want right now, financially, emotionally, physically, spiritually, your relationships, do you see opportunities right now? Or do you see obstacles? Do you see solutions right now, or do you see problems? Because we can think positive all day long, but isn't it fair to say it's what we see in the real world and what we believe? That's what shapes our future more than anything else. Do you find that to be accurate? And I'm here to tell you what's shaping that more than anything else is your learned perceptions. Your learned perceptions, and that's being driven by your philosophy of life. See, why is it absolutely critical for you and I to take charge of our mind, for us to renew our mind? Because Einstein said this. He said that you and I can't solve our problems in life from the same mind that has created them. And in essence, what he meant was that the level of thinking that's gotten you and I to where we are today is fantastic. But for you and I to get to the next level in life, we have to renew our mind. We have to elevate our consciousness. I call this having a shift in consciousness where we literally change our concept of ourselves. Because does it make sense? I know you know this. If we keep doing what we've always done, we're going to get what we've always gotten. And if we keep thinking the same thoughts, we're going to keep taking the same actions, and nothing new is going to happen in our life. Does that make sense? See, because think about it. What is the potential of a human being right now? What is the real potential of a human being right now? What do you think it is? Well, here's some science for you. According to neuroscience and psychology, the capacity, first of all, let me ask you this question. Where does our potential reside? It resides in our mind. And neuroscience now shows us that the capacity of the human mind is practically infinite. Here's some data for you. You have 10 to 10 to the 11 potential neurological connections in your brain and body. So there is more potential available to you, potential thought available to you intellectually, emotionally, and creatively than there are stars in the known galaxy, than there's every grain of sand on every beach on the planet. Not only that, you have been uniquely suited. You have a genetic propensity to perform at genius, Einstein levels within certain intelligences that are universal to the human experience. For example, typical education tests out for math, verbal, arithmetic, reading and writing, but today we know there's all these different intelligences out there. There's emotional intelligences, there's visuospatial intelligences, abstract intelligences, interpersonal intelligences, communicative intelligences, artistic intelligences, physical intelligences. Well, here's what's interesting. You right now have a genetic aptitude to perform at genius levels within these intelligences, and you may not even know what they are. I mean, when you just think about the miracle of who you are right now, just your body. Did you know that right now inside your body, it's made up of 100 trillion cells, and every single second, those cells go through 100,000 chemical reactions. Not only that, every single second you lose 10 million cells, and then you actually make 10 million new cells. And these cells are in constant communication with one another. And this activity, this communication that's happening between these cells happens faster than the speed of light. And guess what? All of this is being controlled where? In your mind. And it's in your mind that's where your potential resides. And when it comes to your mind, you actually have two of them. Let's dive into this a little bit deeper. So there's always two minds at work within us moment by moment. There's our conscious logical thinking mind, and then there's our unconscious emotional feeling mind. And both of these minds are critical for our success and survival, but they operate very differently, and they're responsible for very different things in our lives. And many times the challenges that we face if we're not performing or getting the results that we want or as fast as we want is because these two minds are in conflict with one another rather than working in cooperation. See, recent breakthroughs today in neuroscience and psychology clearly show us now that about 95% of what we think, feel, and do throughout the day, all of that stems from our unconscious mind. So 95% of your thoughts, feelings, behaviors, moods, attitudes, demeanors, your actions, all of that is carried out and controlled by your unconscious mind. So if that's the case, and it is, wouldn't you agree if 95% of our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are being controlled by this unconscious mind of ours, does it make sense that we better learn to control it? We better learn to influence it and get it working for us rather than against us. And I have to tell you, I think this is the challenge that most people have. They don't understand what I just told you. In other words, they are congruently moving towards what they want. See, remember this phrase. Whenever your conscious goals or intentions, whatever you want, is in conflict with your unconscious feelings, your unconscious mind, those unconscious feelings are going to pull you right back to your comfort zone. Whatever feels natural and comfortable to you. See, have you ever found yourself wanting to make a change or achieve a goal in your life, but you took 1 or 2 steps forward and 6 steps backwards, and you didn't consistently follow through at the level that you could? Or have you ever gotten a great idea or learned some really good distinctions and tools, but you didn't apply them at the level that you could? I'll give you a great example from my own life. Back in the day, I used to be heavy and overweight, and I really wanted to be thin. I wanted to have a certain level of energy and vibrancy. I wanted to be proud of the way I look. I wanted to attract a certain lady into my life. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I wanted to be thin consciously. But unconsciously, when I thought about what I was going to have to go through, for example, exercising daily and eating certain types of foods, I had a certain set of feelings associated to those behaviors in my unconscious, and it pulled me right back to my comfort zone. Can you relate to that in some area of your own life? I mean, are there things in your life right now that you know intellectually you could achieve and make happen, but when you think about what you got to go through, maybe it stirs up some feelings of worry, anxiety, or tension, and you don't follow through consistently? Can you relate to that in some area of your life? Well, I'm here to tell you it's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're unmotivated or undisciplined. That's a whole bunch of garbage. It's because these two minds are in conflict with one another. And here's what's exciting. Once you and I understand the language of each individual mind and how to communicate and control each individual mind, we can get them working together for us rather than against us. Are you with me on that? So logically, how do these two minds work, and how can we get them working for us rather than against us? How do we do that? Well, let me start with the conscious mind. The conscious mind is everything that you're consciously aware of at this moment right now. Your conscious mind is your thinking mind. So all of your goals, dreams, desires, everything, all of that evolves out of your conscious thinking mind. It plans, it reasons, it creates, it abstracts, it invents. So any kind of change, proactive, positive change that you want to make in your life, it's going to evolve out of your conscious, logical mind. An act of will, an act of desire, a thought of desire. Does that make sense? But the power to carry that thought through, that's your unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind, think of it like this. Your unconscious mind is the engine that's driving your life forward. It's the engine that's going to carry out your thought. It's very powerful. Your unconscious mind is your body mind. It's the part of you that blinks your eyes, that beats your heart, that breathes you, that operates your metabolism, circulates your blood. I mean, think of everything that's going on inside you right now, the millions of processes going on inside you that are keeping you alive. Or think about just something as basic as walking, running, or shaking somebody's hand. Now, when you do those activities, when you shake somebody's hand, you don't think consciously about the gestures and movements that you have to go through, right? You just shake somebody's hand. Hey, all right? So you're thinking to yourself, great, Matt, that's a breakthrough thought. Brilliant. You're teaching me how to shake somebody's hand. Now, here's my point. My point is this. Think of a goal that you'd like to make happen tomorrow. And imagine that goal for a moment. Now, imagine waking up in the morning and that goal in your mind and body feels as natural, second nature, and automatic as shaking somebody's hand. What do you think your chances of achieving that goal are going to be when in your mind and body it feels as believable, natural, and automatic as shaking somebody's hand? There is absolutely no question that not only are you going to consistently move towards that goal, but you're going to move towards it with a level of congruency and expectancy. And I think so many people are missing this level of congruency and expectancy when they try to make changes in their life. So what happens is they take one step forward and 3 steps backward. So how do we actually get our unconscious mind? I mean, if it carries out 95% of our behaviors throughout our day, how do we get it working for us where our goals, our dreams, our desires in our mind and body, it feels as believable, natural, and automatic and second nature as shaking somebody's hand? Remember this phrase, we have to learn to consciously communicate and control our unconscious mind. Let me say that again. We have to learn to consciously communicate and control our unconscious mind. How do we do that? Well, the language, each individual mind has its own unique language that resonates with it and influences it. So think of it like this. The language of your conscious mind is thinking. The language of your unconscious is feeling. Let me say that again. The language of your conscious mind is thinking. The language that mostly influences your unconscious mind is feeling. See, your unconscious mind will accept anything as real and true. Any thought that you hold in your mind consistently with intense feeling, it'll accept it as real and true. Your unconscious mind is impersonal, it's non-selective, it doesn't know the difference between something that you vividly imagine with emotion and something that you've actually experienced in reality. And it's very powerful because it's really our unconscious that's going to carry out 95% of our behaviors, right? So the question then would become this: how do we get this unconscious mind? How do we control and influence it? How do we get ourselves to actually do that? Well, there's a lot of different ways to go about doing it, but there's a formula that I like to teach people when I teach this formula. And if you're taking notes, you might want to write this down. It's called T times E equals R. So T times E equals R. What exactly does that mean? That means thoughts multiplied by your emotions become your reality. Thoughts multiplied by emotions become your reality. See, I have a question for you. Is it possible for you and I to feel, believe, and act on something that hasn't happened yet in our reality? Yes or no? Absolutely. Well, let me ask you a question, because this used to happen to me all the time. Have you ever gotten really concerned or upset about something that you thought was going to have happen to you in the future, only to find out that it never did? Has that ever happened to you before? Yes, this is known as worry. I used to be very good at this. Now here's my question for you. When you worried about that thing that didn't happen, did you feel it in your body in that moment, at that time, as if it was happening in your current reality? Yes or no? Absolutely. Now, not only did you feel it in your body, did it weaken your body physically? Yes or no? Not only that, did it change your perspective on life or change your focus? I'll bet it did. You ever notice that when you're really concerned or upset or worried about something, your perspective changes? Your, quote, problems and challenges in life seem a lot more daunting and overwhelming. See, can fear obscure our vision in life? Yes or no? But here's my whole point. If we can take something that didn't happen, won't happen, and will not happen in the future, and yet feel it in our body and act on it as if we did, can we also take our dreams, our goals, our desires, the things that we want to build, be, do, and have, and create? Can we also take those and literally think about them in such a profound way that we train this unconscious mind to believe it's already here? Yes or no? Absolutely. See, what is worry? Worry is negatively imagining something. It's imagining the worst possible outcome in your mind and then believing it's going to happen. And because of that, you feel it and you act on it. But can we do this in the positive? Yes or no? You better believe it, because let me ask you this question. If feelings influence our unconscious mind, and 95% of our behaviors and actions are carried out by our unconscious mind, and our unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between something that we imagine with feeling and something that we actually experience. And worrying is negatively imagining. And when we worry, we feel something in our body and we act on it as if it's already here. Can we worry in the positive? Can we think about something in such a profound way so that neurologically in our brain we wire ourselves to believe that what we want is already here? Can we do that? Yes or no? You better believe it. It's called cognitive reprogramming. And what gives human beings dominion over the earth is that we have the ability in this thing called our mind to make thoughts more real than anything else. And when you do that, what begins to happen is your brain now neurologically becomes a map into a new future, into a new reality, rather than a blueprint of your past. Are you with me on that? So how do we actually do this? Well, we do this. I want to give you some questions right now. Some questions that you can ask yourself to create a level of positive expectancy in your life, so that when you take on any new challenge or you do anything that's new in your life, you expect to succeed. Are you with me on that? So let me give you some questions right now. The first question that I want you to think about is, what's your level of expectancy prior to taking on any new challenge? And on a scale of 0 to 10, I'd like you to just kind of rate yourself overall on a scale of 0 to 10. What's my level of absolute conviction and expectancy that I can achieve this goal? And if you're doing this right now or you want to do it later, that's fine. But I'm here to tell you that anything less than a 7, and you're not going to congruently move towards what you want. All right? See, let me ask you a question though. Does it feel different in your mind and body to expect something to happen versus hope it happens? Is there a difference in your brain and body? Do you find that when you expect to get a goal or expect to make something happen in your life, you communicate more effectively with people? Do you find that when you expect to have something happen in your life that people respond to you in a more agreeable fashion? Absolutely. Expectancy is everything. So write this question down if you're taking notes, or just remember it. What could I remember, relive, or re-experience that will increase my level of expectancy? Let me say that again. What could I remember, relive, or re-experience that would increase my level of expectancy? So let me give you some questions to do that. All of this is based on something that I believe as people. I want your opinion on this, but as people, we can't deny our own experiences. Isn't that really true? We can deny somebody else's, but we can't deny our own. We can't deny our own facts, data, and conclusions. In other words, if something happens to us and we feel it, we experience it, and we do it, we own it. Are you with me on that? That's why all of my work is based on getting people to have an actual experience where they experience it in their body. Are you with me on that? In fact, do me a favor right now. Can you remember a time in your life when you felt absolutely fantastic? When you felt incredible? When you were on a roll financially? Just think back to a time in your life when you felt unstoppably confident and fantastic. And do me a favor, step back into that experience and see what you saw back then, hear what you heard back then, and feel that feeling that you felt back then right now. Now, if you're really doing this right now, how do you feel? I bet you feel a little bit different, because remember this phrase, what we re-experience, we relive. Or let me say it like this, what we remember, we re-experience. And you, my friend, have an inventory, a gold mine of memories that if you re-access them and you write them down, you will actually re-experience them in your body, because your brain doesn't know the difference between something that you remember or you vividly imagine with emotion and something that you've actually experienced. Think of it like this. You're going to feel whatever you focus on. But think of it like this too. Unless there's some pain in your neck or pain in your physical body, you can't feel what you don't focus on in life. Focus equals feeling. Focus equals reality. Whatever we put our attention on, whatever we think about throughout our day, we tend to experience more of. We tend to move towards it. I remember hearing this from my teacher years ago. He said, Matt, once you realize that what you think about starts to expand in your life and show up, you just get real careful about what you think about. You don't allow your mind and you don't allow your thoughts to go to anything that you don't want to create or have happen in your life. Because our thoughts make us look for whatever it is we're thinking about. Let me say that again. Our thoughts make us look for whatever it is we're thinking about. So if we're thinking about the impossibility of it, if we're thinking it can't work, if we're thinking it's going to be difficult, then we're going to look for evidence unconsciously to create that, and we're going to move towards it. But conversely, if we get a vision in our mind and we start to think about it, we think from the end in mind, and we feel it as if it's already here unconsciously now, outside of our conscious awareness, remember the body mind? It opens up a whole new reality for us. And we start to move towards it. And we start to notice things that we never noticed before. We start to see opportunities that we've never saw before. And people and places and opportunities present themselves to us. Are you with me on that? So remember this phrase once again. What we remember, we re-access and re-experience. So I want to give you some questions right now that will increase what I call your expectancy factor. Your expectancy factor is just the score that you gave yourself earlier. On a scale of 0 to 10, what's my level of expectancy that I can pull off and achieve this goal prior to going into it? And remember what I said? Anything less than a 7, and you're probably not congruently moving towards what you want. So you'll take 1 step forward and maybe 3 steps backwards, or it's going to affect your performance. So let me give you these questions, and then I want to move into the next variable because I'm running out of time. I could go all day here, okay? The first question that you want to ask is this: to really increase your expectancy and tap into the gold mine of inventory, talents, and skills that you have right now. So go ahead and write this question down. What talents, skills, and abilities do I have and have acquired over my life experiences that make me special and unique? What talents, skills, and abilities do I have and have acquired over my life experiences that make me special and unique? Let me give you the next question. What are the positive qualities about me that others would notice in me? What are the positive qualities about me that others would notice in me? What are your strengths? What are your qualities? What are your talents? What would others say about you? Are you intelligent? Are you passionate? Are you compassionate? Are you outgoing? Are you friendly? Are you well-read? Are you articulate? What is it about you that makes you great? And I want you to write all of this down. Okay, write this question down. Where have there been times in my life, this is a big one, where have there been times in my life when I have broken through, overcame, and succeeded? Let me say that again. Where have there been times in my life when I broke through, overcame, and succeeded? Where have there been times in my life where the odds were stacked against me and I didn't think I could pull it off, and I found a way. I found something inside me. And we all have had experiences like that. Write this question down. What have I done in my life that makes me feel proud? What have I done in my life that makes me feel proud? What are you proud of in your life? What have you accomplished? What have you done that just makes you feel fantastic? See, I'm here to tell you that you have a wealth of experiences that you need to tap into, because if we remember those experiences, it has to increase our expectancy factor. See, what I've learned years ago in studying human behavior is that really any change that we want to make in our life, any kind of proactive change, any result that we want to get, is really all change is just noticing the talents, skills, and abilities that we have in one area of our life, and then bringing those talents, skills, and abilities to another area of our life. You know, one of the things I'm always doing when I'm working with, when I do seminars or I'm doing coaching with people, is I always ask people in the audience, how many parents do we have in the room? And invariably a lot of hands go up. And I say, you know, for you to be a great mom or a great dad, first of all, how many think you're a great mom or a great dad? And everyone, you know, raises their hand. I say, great. I say, let me ask you a question. To be a great mom or a great dad, do you have to put somebody else's needs above your own? Do you have to be able to have a certain amount of focus, resolve, discipline, determination? Do you have to many times do things that you don't want to do, but because you love your children so much, you do it anyway? And all of them say, absolutely. And I say, let me ask you a question. Focus, resolve, discipline, putting somebody else's needs above your own. If you could bring those attributes, those character qualities to the area of your business or your personal life or that area that you want to change, would it accelerate the process of change and achievement, yes or no? And everybody says, absolutely. And see, many times all we're missing is just the facts. We forget what we've done in life. I'm here to tell you, if you're a parent, but especially if you're a single parent, you can pretty much do anything you want. You know, I mean, I am in awe, okay, of single parents. I'm in awe of all parents, but especially single parents. I mean, if you could raise that child and you can do all this and you can manage all these things, you know, being a successful entrepreneur is really a piece of cake. And I think when you think about it from that perspective, you probably would agree with me. So take inventory. Answer those questions, take time to journal them, and I think when you have list after list after list after list of all of your accomplishments, your strengths, the times that you broke through, it's going to increase your expectancy factor. So let's go on to the next variable. The next variable in this leadership framework is this. It's time. All leaders and achievers place an extremely high value on their time because they know it's the one thing that they can't get back. Time is perishable. It's inelastic. It's non-refundable. You know, I think it was Benjamin Franklin said, he said, you and I may delay, but time certainly will not. And our ability to maximize this moment and get the most out of our time, to me, that is where the game of both business and life is played in one. Hey, let me ask you a question. Let's ask a question that most people don't ask. What is time? And what does it really mean to us? Time is the capital. It's the currency of our life. It's the stuff that our life is made up of. But does it make sense to you that for you and I to get control of our time and have more of it, we first have to understand where exactly are we spending our time right now? And are we squandering it or are we investing it? And that's going to lead us into the next video. We're going to talk about something that I call the time matrix, which is going to show you very strategically where you're spending your time right now, how much time you're spending there, and how you can free up some of that time so that you're efficient and effective at what you do and your productivity absolutely skyrockets. I think you're really going to like that. We're going to move into that in the next video. And then the final variable in the leadership framework is this. It's your communication. See, what is it about extraordinary men and women, leaders, these exemplary individuals that makes them so extraordinary? I believe one of the things that they have is they have the ability to influence. They have the ability to connect and communicate with all different types of people, and that's what gives them the capacity to lead. They can get other people to collectively conspire to their vision, and they can drive that vision forward. In fact, influence is really a process of you and I uncovering and discovering a person's highest valued, their needs, wants, and emotions, and then linking that to yourself, your product, or your service, and doing that in kind of a non-invasive, non-threatening way or demeanor. All leaders have the ability to lead and connect and communicate with other people because they understand the dynamics of communication. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you specifically how you can be a more persuasive and attractive communicator so that you can lead your customers, so that you can lead other people and do that in a non-invasive, non-threatening way. Because, in today's day and age, if you're in sales or you're an entrepreneur, personally, I think everybody's in sales. Everybody's in the business of communicating, negotiating, and persuading. We're selling our ideas, our products, our beliefs, our services, but have you ever met somebody and you didn't really know them that well, but you liked them? Something about their demeanor, you just felt comfortable around them. They intrigued you. You wanted to get to know them better. Has that ever happened to you before? Well, there's a way that you can do that. And it's by understanding the dynamics of communication. So in the next video, I think you're really going to like that. We're going to move into this model so that you're more persuasive and you're more attractive in your communication. The next video, I think you're really going to enjoy it. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to talk about the key obstacles. Even knowing all of this, what are the key obstacles that keep people from succeeding and how you can personally shatter those obstacles so you start producing at the highest level. And then we're going to talk about the key obstacles that keep your customers from buying from you, from wanting to do business with you, and how you can shatter those obstacles in your customers so they want to buy. They're hungry to hear your information and they want to buy from you immediately. And then we're going to move into a lifestyle. How do you and I bring all of this together and really create a lifestyle of success and achievement where literally succeeding and achieving just becomes a daily pattern of how we live out each day. It's ingrained into our identity. It's ingrained into our habitual way of living. It's going to be a powerful video that I think you're really going to like. So speaking of likes, go ahead and please like me. And please everybody likes to be liked. Post your comments down below. I'll respond to all of them. Let me know what you thought of this first video and be on the lookout for the next video. Check your inbox in the next day or two because I'm going to send it out and I'm looking forward to working with you and sharing these ideas and thoughts with you. And always, always remember to live and love every moment of your life, my friend, with joy and enthusiasm. I'll see you soon. God bless.